Do you love true crime podcasts but get worn out by all the murder and death? Then I think we have the thing for you. Lacey Mosley, aka the Scam Goddess, loves fraud, hoodwinks, hoaxes, swindles, and double crossing, which is why she created her new show, Scam Goddess, a podcast dedicated to all things fraud, coming to Earwolf Tuesday, October 1st. Each week, Lacey sits down with some of our favorite comedians to talk the hottest hoodwinks, greatest grifts, and dubious double crosses in history. Comedians like Nicole Byer, one of our personal favorites, Paul F. Tompkins, Laura Lapkus, Jamie Loftus, Carl Tart, and more. Check out Scam Goddess when it premieres on October 1st. You can subscribe now on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, or when you listen. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me. Today, we have third-time guest.
Oh, yes.
Lisa Schwartz. And guess what?
What?
I didn't pick any sad questions.
I was going to ask you. It's not a sad.
None.
We're going to find sadness in all of them.
We're going to dissect all of it. Like, I know you asked about like your crush, but like, are you sad?
Yeah, like what's going on deep down?
Deep down. Let's unpack that.
Yeah, really, the last 2 times have been very dark.
Yeah, so I just feel like, no, I just didn't want to give that to you this time.
Thank you.
We're
Maybe
celebrating.
last time we'd like tried not to do it, but
we still did.
How did you? Last time it was
It
my
was like
employer
effort.
has stuck his hand down my pants. It was like so like
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but we're here celebrating because your book just came out.
It did.
So fucking exciting.
And you were so nice to post on social
hell
media.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you for writing yours.
Thank you.
It's such an impressive feat. So guys, get her book. Get her book.
Get the book or I'm going to give you bad advice.
And what's it called?
30 Life Crisis.
It's a great name.
Thank you.
It's very good. And the cover's really cute too.
Thank you.
Like it's all very good. And I know how hard it is to like make every aspect something that you like too.
To be good. Yeah, I like actually like it.
Yeah.
Which
it's
you know,
good.
like on YouTube, sometimes you're like, I don't like this, but I need to put this up anyway.
Yeah.
So,
A book is so hard to do with that though. You're like, what do you mean? I have to like I'm not good at what is it called when in like writing when you like kill your darlings and like screenwriting? Yeah. I'm not good at killing my darlings. Like if it's my darling, like I'm the kind of person where it's like, no, I will go to battle. I am like, don't get tired. I will go to battle for everything that I want. Like it's not like, oh, okay, well I'll let this slide so I can go like.
Hell no.
No. Everything that I want in life, I'm gonna fight for it. And then 3 months later, I'll be like, oh, I guess I didn't really care that much.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I'm a control freak.
Me too. Do it the way you want it.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's where it's got me. My book is coming out in a very long time. It's fine. It's cool. It's happening. Okay. Well, I have to intro the episode. I mean, the podcast. This for sure.
We're doing a podcast
We're
today.
doing a podcast, guys. It's Don't Blame Me. If you want to call in for an upcoming episode, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can leave us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. And now enough rambling. We can get into the advice.
Hey, Megan. Just wanted, I guess, just like a second opinion on what I'm thinking right now. So my family members, we like my aunt, and then my family, there's a guy that we know, and he's a couple years older than me, and like, I don't know, for the past like 5 years, they've been like trying to get me to like talk to him, and I think even like his mom has tried to tell my aunt, to like hook us up, but like last summer we just like decided to like hang out a couple of times, and he's in NFL, so like he wasn't where we live, so when he would come to where I live, like we would hang out, and then we finally had hooked up, and it was just like, I guess, casual at that point, and then maybe like a month later, he texted me to like do it again, and I actually was like tired, so I did it. And then a few weeks later, his girlfriend, who actually happens to be someone that I grew up with, but I haven't talked to in years, her name is very similar to mine, which is even like more funny, but she messaged me and was like, hey, I don't like this girl-to-girl stuff, but I found out about you and the guy, so I just wanted to know, like, what happened. And I kind of just told her, like, we were casually hooking up, like, it wasn't anything serious. If I'd known that he had a girlfriend, like, it would not have happened. And then, like, it was kind of done. Like, the girl still likes my pictures, but he actually blocked me. But I know that, like, I know his brother, and his brother was like, no, he, like, still talks about you. And, like, I don't really like him, but, like, and he doesn't date the girl anymore. Would it be bad if I, like, reached out to hook up again? Or should I just, like, call it a loss and just not try to reconnect? Because it's not like I like him and I don't want to date him, but, like, he's single, I'm single. Yeah, thanks.
But I do appreciate in this call that the girlfriend didn't get mad at her.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're friends. Like,
They like each other's posts on Instagram.
It's really nice and very mature.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I don't love the cheating in this story, but I love how you told this story. This is like, you seemed so bored by your own life in a way that this is clearly like, this is like some juicy shit, but like it was just
He's in the NFL.
I was like, ma'am, did you say NFL? Like, who?
Also, like, what town? Like, these families and friends are so close.
It's got to be in the South.
It has to
My
be.
God.
Like,
They're very incestuous.
yeah. And like, how good of a team does he play for? Like,
How good is he? Does he
Yeah.
actually play? Yeah.
I just think, like, I understand, like, a convenience dick, but like, this, I wouldn't call this necessarily a convenience dick. Like, it's like, well, I've been around, we've already hooked up, like, I don't have to put the effort and work in. But like, he's already proven to like bring some like unnecessary drama into your life. Like, maybe that's not who you go back to. But at the same time, I won't lie, I probably would. I'd probably just be like, eh.
Yeah, but he unfollowed her on Instagram. It's like one thing to have
Oh yeah,
convenience
how are you
dick.
gonna reach out?
Like, if he unfollows you, like, I think we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
just unfollowed, he blocked her.
Well, that also,
damn.
then I think he's also, that sounds to me like cover up and
From his girlfriend.
from his girlfriend, and then preventative for the other girls he's fucking in that
Yeah.
way. So I think, like, I don't think you're going to be immune from the situation that just happened. And like, being the other woman, like, doesn't feel great. And also, like, I'm sure doesn't feel like you don't necessarily like that. You don't want to put another girl through that. And I think like this will probably happen again with him. And if you don't like him, like,
Yeah,
why?
if you were too tired to do it the second time.
Yeah, that's not. And the second time's usually pretty good. Like, that's
Yeah.
not a time. Like, I
Let's
get like the
move on.
50th time, or if you're like, I'm not in the mood, I ate too much. But like,
Me.
literally me all the time. I'm like, I'm full. Mom said to me all the time, he's like, I'm full, please move. And I'm like, okay. for
We
sure.
like make an effort to do it before we go out to dinner
Oh,
because we're
my-
like, you know what, we're gonna be full and drunk and we're gonna want to come home and not do that.
100. If it's nighttime, if we've eaten popcorn, I'm like, no, there's no way this is happening.
way.
No fucking way. We'll be like, don't touch me, I'm gonna fart. It's like, okay, for sure.
Also,
God.
but she said, like, should I take this as a loss? And I'm like, no, girl, take it as a win. Moving
Yeah.
on. Empower yourself.
Yeah, I think this is like a, I don't know, notch in your belt confidence kind of thing. And also, like, you were able to walk away from a situation that usually would probably end up in like a girl on girl drama, and like you got to interact with like a wonderful girl's girl feminist, and like you guys got to both be like, okay, wow, this guy's kind of like men ain't shit sort of a thing. And I think like leave on a high note, like, you know, like,
Yeah.
why not? Like, you don't want to get into it if like another, he like starts dating another girl and that girl finds out and then like slashes your tires. Like, you came out like on top.
Yeah.
Why risk that?
Yeah, stay there.
Yeah,
Stay there.
Stay on top, not sexually with him.
Too tired to get on top.
We've talked about this. We've talked about this so much. Where it's just like the effort that it takes, I just can't. And also, I hate, and when you're talking about this, I hate when guys are like, come on, like, you be on top for us. Like, guys being on top versus girls being on top is very different. First
Very.
of all, my tits are everywhere, and this is pulling me down and hitting me up, and I have small boobs and I'm feeling that. And then also, like, my inner thighs are hurting, like I'm getting cramps, whereas guys, I'm like, I just have to stand there and be like, do you know what I mean?
Also, like double chin from like the,
Yeah.
like the angle. Like I can only imagine what it looks like.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all.
Just go out to dinner instead.
Yeah, just
This
take
is
a
what you
nap.
have to look forward to in a
long-term
long-term
relationship. Yeah, you just say, don't touch me, I'm gonna fart. Mott's woke me up the other night. I was like, I wasn't even like embarrassed, but I was like so annoyed with him that this was something. He woke me up to tell me like, psst, you farted on me. And I was like, I'm sleeping. He's like, I know, while you were sleeping, you farted on me. I was like, tell me in the morning. Like, you have to wake me up and you're not mad. You just think it's funny. I was like, do you know how often you fucking fart on me in your sleep? I don't wake you up to be like, you farted. I was so annoyed.
I kind of love that.
He does it all the time. He goes, remember that time you farted on me while you're sleeping? I was like, no, because I was asleep. So fucking dumb. Oh, that's funny. But I fart when we're awake too. I was like, why is this so funny? Like, I will fart like openly sitting right next to you while we're
Still
awake.
funny though, right?
But if I'm asleep, he thinks it's so much funnier.
Do you know some people don't fart in front of their significant other?
I have IBS. I would die.
I would die too.
I would fucking die.
I would explode.
Like
I would explode.
I don't get how you do that. Or like,
yeah.
But like, and then people like, keep some of the mystery. I'm like, I'm sorry, are you dating men who also aren't farting in front of you? Because even if I like I've never dated a guy who was like, oh, I'm not gonna fart in front of you. I want to save some of that mystery. So I'm like, so I was just supposed to save the mystery. I was gonna have to smell your and listen to your fucking farts.
Right.
But you weren't gonna like, no, fucking tit for tat, dude. If I'm gonna do this, you
let it rip.
Yeah. I think that's just so weird.
I think it's weird too. It's human nature.
It is. Like, I won't fart on like, I don't know, like in like a meeting, but like
No, of course.
I'll fart on a plane. Like, I don't give a shit. Everyone, but you know,
remind me not to go flying with you.
Everyone farts on a plane though. Like,
how about at
everybody.
the gym, dude? Someone ripped one the other day, and I think that was rude as fuck.
But you can't. At that point, you can't stop.
Hip thrusters, and it just came
That's
out.
what I was gonna say.
Okay, sometimes it just
yeah. Have you ever done like a low like a hip thruster? You can fucking queef.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get. We were talking in my Pilates class this week. Our instructor was like saying, she was like, okay, now really want you to like feel that in your body. You might feel like you have to queef. If you do, it's fine. But that's how you know where you're at. That's where I need your body to feel. And
I
was
appreciate
like, for sure.
that.
And there's like 3 guys in my class being like, I don't know what that means for me. How do I know that I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna queef? And I'm like, you're not. You're not.
You won't.
You won't feel that. You don't have a hole in your body that's just like air and out. Queefing.
I love a front fart.
Yeah, it's a good time. Should we go on to the next?
You guys, I really feel at home here. Thank you. And then I just cut one.
Hi, Megan and guest. I'm calling in not because I need advice so much, but because I'd really like an opinion on something that I've kind of been dealing with lately. It's not a huge deal, but it's something that's kind of been at the back of my mind and bothering me. So I just want to see how other people might feel about it if they were in my situation. I have been dating my fiance for 4 years. We are very happy together. We're set to be married very soon. But my problem isn't with him. It's with one of his coworkers. So he's been working at the same hospital as a nurse for about 3 years. And during this time, he's been working with another person on his floor who calls herself his work wife. This doesn't bother me that much because I know it's kind of a thing to have, you know, friends at work and like jokingly call each other work husband, work wife. But what does bother me is that she buys him a lot of stuff. Like, she brings him lunch all the time. She will bring him souvenirs from her vacation. But I should mention that none of this has really bothered me that much because she's about 55 and my fiance is 25, the same age as me. So he always jokes, you know, that she's kind of like this older woman who just likes to have fun with him and like make the nights more enjoyable because he works night shift. But what bothers me is that she did not react super well when he told her that he had proposed to me, that we were getting married. Apparently she was kind of like miffy about it and didn't act super supportive. And ever since then, whenever I go up to visit my fiance while he's at work, she'll kind of touch him a lot, like rub his back or flip his name badge around, or I don't know. She just is very flirty with him for a 55-year-old woman, and I think it's weird. So I've mentioned it to my fiance that it kind of bothers me, and that I think if the roles were reversed and there was a 55-year-old guy hitting on me at my job and like acting weird and calling himself my work husband, it would really bother him. So why shouldn't this kind of bother me, even if I know nothing would come of it? So he acts like it's no big deal, but I'm kind of wondering, do other people think this is weird and like he should not really let her act like this around him? I just wanted to get another opinion. Thanks. Love the show. Bye.
This is so fucking weird.
Oh, but she's so cool. Like, she sounds like mature and like very like level-headed about it. And I love the double standard call out.
Yeah, and I'm also like a believer in the sense of like, I don't think like, I think if like someone's behavior is like makes you uncomfortable, if it's like, okay, this is going to sound like catty or like whatever, but if like a girl is like flirting with the guy that you're dating, I hate the idea that like the only time that like you really like you have a leg to stand on is if you think she's pretty. Like if you're like, oh, if she's not cute, like, oh, then who really cares? Like I hate that. Like it's the actions. Like I don't give a shit if it's like whether or not like quote unquote like, oh, I feel like threatened in like a appearance way. Like if you're like emotionally or just like behavior, like that's so much more. So I think like even for him, I think if this was like, I think that's kind of what he's trying for you. It's like, okay, she's like a 55-year-old woman, but like even if it wasn't the genders reversed, if the ages were reversed, like if she was younger and like then that would be, but like the idea that's all this conditions that like you shouldn't, that it's like a like whatever, like I don't think he has to feel uncomfortable. If he doesn't feel uncomfortable, I think you have every right to feel uncomfortable. It's fucking weird.
It's weird. It doesn't sound like the fiance's like trying to stand up for this 55 year. Like he seems like he understands that it's weird, but what do you do? That's their job. Like like also do you if you trust your fiance, it's like I know. I mean, my fucking manipulative brain goes to, you have to put her in a situation where she's gonna like, it is going to be like coming like very clear that like it is like a crossing the line and like a, oh no, like your girlfriend, like she's like I make old people talk. She's 55, not even that old, but I make it, she's a hussy. Like, well, like says something in a way that he's like, oh, okay, weird. Like crossing that line. Like my mind is like, you got to get her into that situation. So then he has a reason to call her out
because he needs to see what she's seeing. And I think it takes guys so much longer to see that kind of stuff. Or it's the same thing if you've like been dating someone and you know one of their like female friends is into them and they're like, no, she's not. I'm like, no, she fully fucking is. Like I can tell. And it's like, no. And then like months later, it's like, oh, wow, you're right. I guess she was. And I'm like, okay, come on, here you go. But I just think this is just I don't know.
Yeah, but what do you do? This is so awkward. And they're like nurses. Like they're like doing good work. Like what do you?
Oh yeah, I forgot that part that they're nurses.
And they're working the night shift.
Yeah.
Do you think she's gonna like just like get naked on one of the free beds one night? And
I hope so.
Come hither, and he's gonna be like, "Fuck, my girlfriend is right." Wait, so question, but also, how do you know all of this? Like, I see that, like, I get the part when you're knowing.
She's gone up to the.
Yeah, but so the souvenirs and all of that.
It seems like he's telling you, which is great.
That's a good thing to know.
And he's probably like, haha. Yeah. So, I don't know, Mildred's bringing me lunch today or stuff like that. Mildred's way too old for 55.
Gladys.
Deborah.
Judy
and Deborah, perfect.
I want to know, though, how do you know that she was not happy that you guys are engaged? And
it sounded again like he
did. Yeah. Because then that's a point of like, then he is recognizing that like this is a little off and odd. In which case, I think if he can recognize that in like some capacity, I think it just needs to be like knowing that this makes you feel uncomfortable, and like not that necessarily like you obviously can't control what happens when you're not there, but like if he knows that this makes you really uncomfortable, then like when you do visit, I think he should not let her be really touchy with him and like do like, I think that's like his like responsibility to kind of like take a step back and be like, no, this makes her feel really uncomfortable. I don't feel uncomfortable because I see you more as like a mom figure or like a like aunt or something like that. But like this makes my girlfriend uncomfortable. I'm not going to do like that. But yeah, I mean, either that or like you fucking confront this 55-year-old woman.
Oh God. It's tough.
It is.
Well, she didn't really want advice, I guess she said. She
just wants her opinion.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Super. And I'm also like, I'm not cool with like the work wife, work husband. Like, oh my God, like we're so cute. And like, no. Maybe
a work friend. Like,
yeah. Because I've only ever had like crushes at work and like actual crushes. Or like Mats and I called each other work wife and work husband when we worked together.
And where are you
and
now?
Where are we now? We're fucking. we're fucking. Like, come on. Yeah. And then the same time, like the other time I'd call like a work husband would be like my friend who's gay. Like there isn't.
Yep.
I just don't really like that mentality. I also think it's a really unhealthy mentality to have at a workplace because it just like makes you. It tricks you into working. Going above and beyond, like especially like, oh, we're a family here and all that stuff. It's like, no, that's manipulative to convince people to like work longer hours and not take vacation because like we're in this together, like High School Musical. So yeah, I mean,
As long as the fiance continues to communicate.
Yeah. So but
don't invite her to the wedding though. Fuck, don't.
She probably already has a save the date card.
Yeah, she probably does. She's probably gonna wear white. She's gonna wear white to the wedding.
Oh my God! Please call back and let us know.
Because she's a virgin. It's not even gonna be ivory. She's gonna be like, I'm a clean virgin.
Yes.
Are you?
Judy.
Yeah, Judy. Or maybe, do you know like an older gentleman you could set Judy up with?
Yeah, at the wedding.
Yeah. That's a good call too. Or maybe just confront her. I'm so fucking curious what's gonna happen. I genuinely feel like Judy's gonna get to a breaking point and she's gonna get naked and pull some moves on your man. Yeah. I don't think but in that moment, I think your man is going to realize like, oh, wow, this is my girlfriend. My fiance was right all along.
Judy does want a bone.
Yeah, Judy does.
That sounds like a book.
Like it's Judy Bloom book.
Judy wants to bone.
It's Judy Bloom turns 18 and it's suddenly Judy wants to bone.
Set in a hospital.
So I love it.
Oh my God, please call back and let us know how it goes.
Please do. And shout out to your fiance who's a male nurse. I love male nurses so much. Nurse. My godfather was a male nurse. And I thought when I saw my first female nurse when I was a kid, I was like, what do you mean you're supposed to be all boys?
Oh, I love that.
Let us know how it goes. Give us updates. And should we go on to next?
Yes.
Hey, Meghan. I'm 23 years old. And I just need some advice about my current boyfriend. So we have been dating for about a little under 4 years. And he just got back in May from a year-long deployment. And right after he got back, I moved cities to where he lived. And since moving, things have just changed between us. And at first, I just chopped it up to adjustment and getting used to being around each other. Because before he deployed, we were also long distance. So we've been long distance, like basically our whole relationship, and now we're not. And our biggest issue is I feel like he doesn't really want to spend time with me, and we have sex way less than we did before we were in the same city. And I have a very high sex drive, so that just doesn't really work well with me. I brought it up to him, and every time I brought it up to him, he kind of just says I'm being dramatic or extra and kind of just dismisses it. And I want to bring it up again, but I don't really know how to bring it up in a way that will get the point across that I'm somewhat unhappy with the lack of time we're spending together and definitely the lack of sex we are having. So if you could just give me some advice on that, that'd be great. Thanks. Bye.
Spaghetti-o. Ay. Ugh.
It doesn't sound great.
No, it doesn't. He's gaslighting you, which like I am like hesitant to say that to people who are in relationships, because it usually you usually hear of the term gaslighting in the sense of like, break up with him, be fucking done, like this guy's scum. Good people can gaslight you. It's not an intentional if you look at the definition of gaslighting, it's so much of redirecting and all of that. It's not necessarily always intentional when people are doing it. It can just be a defense mechanism, and it also just happens a lot. Men happen to do it quite a lot to women. It just has just been a systematic thing. So that in itself, I think you need to address with him, calling you being extra or dramatic. That doesn't solve how you feel at all.
It's just pushing off having that conversation.
Yeah, and it's not, that doesn't, if you tell me I'm being extra or dramatic or crazy, okay, that doesn't change, that's not what we're talking about. That also doesn't change what I feel. That's not a Band-Aid or a solution of oh no, you're just being you're
that's
just being
his
dramatic.
Unwillingness to actually communicate about this situation.
And it's so this to me sounds so textbook. I've never been in a long distance relationship, but this is exactly what I would assume is the second that you actually move in together, you're not going to have sex nearly as much because you probably were only spending you had those small periods of time, so you had to get the most out of it because you had an end date of okay, well, this until then.
Right, and it felt like vacation too every time you get together because one of you was going one of you is technically going on vacation.
Exactly. And then the same thing with hanging out. It's like you would be spending this time together because you only have X amount of time. And so it would be super filled up that way. And because of that, I think he's probably gotten really used to his, like, I don't want to say single guy lifestyle, but like not having you, like dating you, but also not having you around all the time. So he has this routine and these like this friends and all stuff. And even when Mats and I started dating, like this was a thing that like we had to establish because I was like, all of your friends are single. And I get that, but like you, like if you want to have a girlfriend, you want to date, like we actually have to go out and dates and like hang out in that way. But like for him, it's like, oh, well, none of his friends were missing anything because they were all still single and they were all friends and like all of that kind of stuff. It's like, well, there are certain things that like, I don't want to say dating is like a trade off, but like there are certain things that like
it is though in a way.
It's time that you're spending with somebody that you have to be comfortable like dealing with the FOMO of your friends to then make time for this other person in your life. And if he's not willing, it makes sense to me though, but how that's not what he's doing now because he hasn't had to do this for 4 years.
Yeah. So there's still a chance that like this can work. They just like really need to communicate. The sex thing's hard because I feel like if you have that conversation, guys get like super defensive about it.
Like, no, I've got so much sex drive. Like my sex drive is like way bigger than your sex drive.
Yeah. Like I want to like, and then it gets in your head.
Yeah.
And then it becomes like the cycle. So that's a little tricky. I would start with just communicating about spending more time together.
Yeah.
And I feel like that sex thing will just kind of come with it.
Yeah. And I think if you're comfortable, like if you're used to him coming on to you more and like because you, again, it was like vacations when you would see each other. Maybe if you haven't been like coming on to him, maybe you try coming. Maybe it's just the aspect of like his sex drive is lower than yours and he's not necessarily like thinking like, oh, I'm in the mood to instigate it. But like maybe if you like make a move and he's like, oh, I could be down. Like I'm down and try and do it that way. That's also like hard if like you're not feeling desired by your partner because you don't want to then feel like rejected and shut down. But I think like the issue is in the first issue I would address with him is like the gaslighting. This sounds bad to say. I wouldn't actually even recommend using the term gaslighting.
No. Because
I think it's like a trigger word. It's like a not all men, not that I'm saying your like boyfriend is like a not all men kind of guy, but like it is just it's like liberal Twitter speaking. And like, even if you're like, it feels like an attack. And it feels like an end stopping point when it doesn't have to be. And I think just saying like, hey, I would really love to have a conversation with you about the spending time together. And it's been really frustrating because I've tried to bring this up every time. It feels like I'm getting dismissed by being called extra and dramatic. And this is how I feel. And we really need to, if you really care about me and you want to work on it, like, and you want this to succeed, we really need to work on this. And when you call me crazy and dramatic, I feel like silenced in my feelings and emotions. And like, I don't feel supported and I need to feel supported in order to like move like with this relationship. And then I think like, you just have to get super, super honest about what you want out of a relationship. And then it sucks to say that like it might get to a point with him where he's like, I'm really happy with how we are now. And if you're not, that's also very okay to walk away, because the fact that you've done this for 4 years, the reason why your relationship was like this for 4 years is because you were long distance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like if that's the kind of style of relationship that he likes and he's fine with like living with you and being in person, but that's like the time that he likes spending with you, you didn't like lead him on or mislead him. Right? Like there's no way you could have thought this is how exactly I was going to be when we move in together.
Yeah.
But I think he needs to like want you to be happy and not just be like, well, deal. This is like.
Yeah, and maybe giving him almost not like an out, but like being like, this is what I want. Just like you were saying, presented very not accusatory, just like very like diplomatic. It's a business. Don't you feel like a relationship's like a
100%?
It's like a business partnership. So you really do need to like take your ego out of it for a second and be like, this is what I want. Just want to check in now that we've moved in, we've made this decision. If you're not feeling that, just be upfront with me now. Knowing that he might say, this is not what I want, but it's better to do it now and find out than to just keep trying to make it work without really giving him a chance to say what he really actually wants.
And I like know people who've been in very like these situations where they've done long distance, then moved to where their partner is, and then been like, oh, this doesn't work this way. Then broken up, and sometimes they've stayed in that city, sometimes they've moved. Like it's been, but and I've said this before on other podcasts, there's no amount of time you invest in a relationship or anything, like time, energy, finances, like money, like time you've spent moving, money you've spent moving, and all that stuff. None of it is ever so much that like you just have to deal and sit with this. Like at any point,
you don't have
like,
kids, you're still young.
Yeah,
like
you just like, if this isn't working, you didn't waste these 4 years. It's not like, oh, well, you're put this work in, like better keep doing it. Like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and like it'll be totally fine. And sometimes like that sucks, but also at the same time, like you don't want a long distance relationship forever. So if this doesn't work for you and this is what he wants, and you guys just aren't like each other's person. But if he really does want to work at it, and he can get better from this. I also think like I'm always a big proponent of couples therapy. I think it's fantastic, but I think he does kind of sound like a tougher case to do that. But I think if he does have a really hard time like communicating this with you, and like you just realize you're not even on different wavelengths. Like you're just like, have you ever had like when you're talking to someone, you're like, we're not hearing each other. Like we're just not on, like, not that we're not on the same page.
Speaking
it's like,
a different language.
Yeah. It's like everything we're saying, like it's going right through each other. And that's like a thing. If you guys are at that point and you're kind of at a standstill, but you both really want to work on the relationship, I would suggest going to therapy, because it does take, like you said, it like in the same way of like a business transaction, it takes your egos out of it. And there's like an unbiased person there who's kind of able to like interpret what each of you are saying in a way, which can make it a little less like hostile if he's like, you know,
I think it's just seeing if he's like interested in really like diving in and figuring this out.
And if he wants to work on it, then he's into you. But if someone doesn't want to work on your relationship, and it's like, then at that point it's like, well, fucking shit.
Yeah, you sound cool. I'm not worried about you.
No, I'm not worried at all. But wow, congrats on you. And also masturbate more too. It's always the big advice. Always.
Make plans with your friends.
Yeah, use like a really loud vibrator next to him while he sleeps. And like, could have been you.
Yeah.
Could have been you. This could have been your dick. But it's not now. Okay, guys, it's time for a quick break, and we'll be right back. With HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit, you'll get easy, seasonal recipes and pre-measured ingredients delivered right to your door. All you have to do is cook and enjoy. HelloFresh makes cooking and delicious meals at home a reality, regardless of your comfort in the kitchen. From step-by-step recipes to pre-measured ingredients, HelloFresh gives you everything you need to get a wow-worthy dinner on the table in just 30 minutes. So you can finally say goodbye to endless grocery store trips and takeout food. HelloFresh offers something for everyone, like family recipes to calorie smart and vegetarian, fun menu series like Hall of Fame and craft burgers. And it is so flexible. Easily change your delivery days, food preferences, and skip a week whenever you need. Or add extra meals to your weekly order, as well as yummy add-ons like garlic bread and cookie dough. I am a fan of HelloFresh. We've been trying it out, and when I say we, I mean I make Mott's do it because there are instructions, and I don't have to help. And he recently made the maple rosemary pork cutlets, which was great because I am not one person to like buy pork really, but it came in the box, and I was like, wow, okay, cool. And it's a great way to change it up, and it really gets us out of the food rut. And it, like, you know, makes me make my boyfriend cook me dinner for once. For $80 off your first month of HelloFresh, go to HelloFresh.com/blame80 and enter code blame80. That's like receiving 8 meals free when you go to HelloFresh.com/blame80 and enter code blame80. If there's something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals, Betterhelp Online Counseling can help. Betterhelp offers licensed professional counselors who are specialized in issues such as depression, anxiety, relationships, trauma, anger, family conflicts, LGBT matters, grief, self-esteem, and more. Connect with your professional counselor in a safe and private online environment, and get help at your own time and at your own pace. Anything you share is confidential, and it is so convenient. You can schedule secure video or phone sessions, as well as chat and text with your therapist. If for some reason you're not happy with your counselor, though, you can request a new one at any time for no additional charge. Best of all, it is a truly affordable option. Our listeners even get 10% off your first month with the discount code BLAME. So why not get started today? Go to betterhelp.com/blame, then simply fill out a questionnaire to help them assess your needs and get matched with a counselor you'll love. That's betterhelp.com/blame. Support from today's show comes from Third Love. With more than 80 sizes, including their signature half-cup sizes, Third Love designs bras with breast size and shape in mind for a perfect fit and a premium feel. You guys know how much I love Third Love. We talk about them all the time. I'm obsessed. I think it's time for me to get a new like strapless bra though, and something else. And also, you know what we don't talk about all the time? Their underwear. Incredibly comfortable as well. This is hands down the most comfortable bra you'll own, with straps that won't slip and tagless labels. Not to mention lightweight, super thin memory foam cups that mold to your shape. Best of all, every customer has 60 days to wear it, wash it, and put it to the test. And if you don't love it, you can return it to Third Love and they will wash it and donate it to a woman in need. Third Love knows that there's a perfect bra for everyone. So right now, they're offering my listeners 15% off your first order. Go to thirdlove.com/blame now to find your perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/blame for 15% off today. Okay, guys, we're back from our break and we're going to hop into the rest of the couch.
Me and our current boyfriend have been dating a little over 4.5 years. We both still live at home with our parents for financial reasons. In the last little while, one of his ex-girlfriends, who he dated around 8 years ago, has started to visit and hang out and hook up with his brother. I'm wondering if I'm being over dramatic about this situation. I get extremely pissed about it, but I try to remain classy. Otherwise, I feel like she's just going to be spiteful towards us. He understands why I'm pissed, but also feels like she's not there to see him, so it shouldn't matter. He assured me that he doesn't want anything to do with her, but I feel disrespected that him and his family enables her to come there. He does have a past dating several girls and obviously having sex with them. And I lost my virginity to him, so it just makes me uncomfortable. Just wanting to know what your thoughts and opinions are. Thanks.
Your accent?
I know, I love it.
I was really afraid I was going to be like, well, here's what I think.
Yeah. Oh, you're so sweet.
I'll be a classy girl.
How long have they been together?
4.5 years.
He dated the other girl 8 years ago.
So how old are you guys, or were they like 12? But I think she said that he's had a past sleeping with other girls. So I'm assuming this is a girl that he slept with. I mean, I think like I think that we all are allowed, like sans like racist, misogyny, homophobia. I think we're allowed to feel whatever we feel. And there doesn't always have to be like, it doesn't have to be like quote unquote right and like justified again, like quote unquote, but like, you're like, there are certain times where like you can get pissed about shit or you're like, I don't like that, but you're like, man, I mean, I like have no leg to stand on, but like whatever, I still don't like it. And like you can feel that and just kind of be like, ugh, like, well, there's not really much to do about it. And it's just not necessarily squashing those feelings, but like talking to like that negative part of your brain of being like, okay, for sure, I don't like her because of this and this and this, but okay, I don't like her because she's slept with my boyfriend before and I don't like this. But okay, here's the evidence that I have that she's not sleeping with him now. A, she's sleeping with his brother. And if she's sleeping with his brother, he's probably also not that cool with it. And like that feels probably a little bit worse and gross to him. And so I think
that's a good point.
Thinks probably less of her than you do. And then on top of that, like, okay, and she's sleeping with his brother and he says that he just doesn't have feelings for her anymore. And we've been together for 4 years and like, okay, cool. This makes sense why she's not my favorite person and I feel like weird around her. But I have all of this evidence and proof that like that reason why I don't like her, which I don't want, like, it's like that insecure part of you that's it's okay. Like you have all this other proof around you to be like, okay, well, that voice needs to silence for now because like that's wrong. Like she's not coming for him or anything like that, but you're still allowed to like, you don't have to like be friends with her.
No, but it also sounds like she's not going to be around for long.
No.
This is just like, yeah, I think you're right to try to just stay classy and just trust that like, that girl's kind of sad, really.
And also, can you imagine like that sweet Southern family? Do you think that mom likes the fact that this girl has hooked up with both of her sons? I promise they're talking shit about her.
Yeah, she's gonna be out soon. She sounds like a mess. Just like be the bigger lady and
you have like seniority here. Like you have the power and control in the sense that like you are the long-term girlfriend. Just because she was first doesn't mean anything. Like you still have like, you have that power in his family's eyes. You have that power like in the relationship. Like she's the new girl coming around. Like you don't have to feel threatened by her. If anything, she should probably feel more threatened by you, and I'm sure she feels probably like fucking weird and uncomfortable that like,
or she just doesn't feel. It sounds like maybe well, I mean, she doesn't feel.
If you're fucking both the brothers.
Yeah, there's something going on.
Yeah, it's I mean, it has to be a small town sort of thing. But yeah, I think like I would trust your boyfriend on that, but at the same time, I think like just taking a step out from like if he hadn't had slept with her, like is she doing anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, or is it just like the fact that they had a past?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, and if she's not doing anything, then and he's not doing anything either to make like
it's uncomfortable, but like
yeah,
just try not to be around when they're there.
Which I'm sure he will be like, for sure, I'm totally down to like not hang around them all the time.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, I understand it's hard having like being with someone who has, I mean, he is the only person you've slept with, but him having like a past and things like that. But he's with you for a reason. And I don't think, and we've said this before with like virginity, especially like it's not the first person you sleep with, it's the last person. And for you, he might be both of those things, but like, the most important thing is going to be the fact that like he's the last person that you sleep with, not that he was the first guy you ever slept with. Like that doesn't hold that same amount of weight. And so I think like it can be hard to like compare, but he's with you for a reason. Like he really likes you and he really cares about you. So whoever he slept with before, like it's just like who gives a shit? It just happens to be like around, which is weird.
It's him.
I wouldn't be cool. I mean, I know I would be like, I'd feel weird, but I would also,
you just, when you enter in a relationship, you're trusting your partner.
Yeah.
And like things come up and you just have to like breathe and trust, and you've committed to doing that. So.
Mm-hmm. And it'll get easier too. And she won't be there for that long either.
She's gonna be off to the next soon.
Unless they're deeply in love, and then she's gonna be your sister-in-law.
Yeah, which is weird.
Super fucking weird. And
but better that than just like a flight in a way.
Yeah, I guess you would come to terms with it more.
Yeah.
And also you could get really drunk at their wedding and like make a speech.
Oh, please send us the video.
Wait, but also like at that point, like how weird would it be for your boyfriend to then be like, oh, here's my sister-in-law. Oh yeah, we fucked once. Like,
yeah, this is a rom-com.
That was so long ago.
Yeah, that's so true.
I don't know.
They were probably like teenagers and they're adults now.
I'm just thinking about it in terms with Motz's brother, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it
like
would
if
have
I
to
had
be
slept
like
with his brother and then like that'd be so
there's like
weird.
So many people in this world. Like, do you have to double dip in the same family? Like,
you're not in high school anymore. That's the thing. I'm like,
I might be in a small town.
That's true.
Even so, though, double dipping in the same fam.
That's just a confidence move on her part. Like, I would not feel
confident.
It's
a psychotic move.
But I wouldn't feel confident enough to like, oh yeah, I like used to sleep with the bro. I'm gonna go do this. We're going to the next call.
I have a relationship issue. So my boyfriend and I are living together. We've been dating for about 2.5 years now. And our sex life is good, but I kind of want to bring it to great. So here's the thing. Both my boyfriend and I don't really like to take control in the bedroom. We both kind of like when the other one makes the first move, and we both like it when the other one is more of the dominant person in sex. And this has definitely led to problems in the past. We both kind of felt like we're not wanted by the other one, or, you know, we'll go for a little bit without having sex because neither of us will initiate it. But then, you know, when we actually do start having sex, it's, you know, mostly like pretty great. I just wanted to get your take on how we can kind of handle this in a fair way. And understandably, I'm kind of coming from the point of view that, you know, he's the guy and he should be the one initiating. And so, you know, if you don't like that, then that's kind of like your problem. And I know that that's not a fair way to look at it. But I've had other people suggest to me that we should kind of like take turns initiating it and like, you know, have like a schedule. But that just seems super unsexy to me and like not very spontaneous at all, which is another thing that I value when it comes to sex. So, yeah, I think that's
that's everything, and hope to hear what you guys have to say. Thanks. Bye.
Well,
bring in a third.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good. You just need a coach. You just need someone to like give you guys encouragement and go. Play by play.
Someone just to smack you both.
Yeah. On the ass.
Yeah. Together. Mm-hmm. I understand I understand both of your mindsets. Like I get like I personally I'm into someone who's like more aggressive and more of like the initiator kind of thing. Like that's what I'm attracted to. But and my instinct is also like I've predominantly like been with people who like that's like they're like they like to be the person who initiates all of the time. But like when you get to be in a long-term relationship,
it's so different. It changes.
So fucking different because you're spending so much more time together and it's something that like you're so much more comfortable around each other. It's not that you're just like going out on dates and being like, oh, it's a Friday night, we're gonna have a sleepover and like we're definitely gonna hook up. It's like, oh no, we live together. Like, did you just eat a big meal? Like, are you like, it becomes a little bit more about logistics. And I think like, I don't think there's anything not sexy about scheduling, but I think there's a way, if there's a way for you to find figure out what it is that you find, like the most like sexy and a turn on and not what you think is a guy's job. Because I think like if you're attracted to the fact that you're like, oh no, I like it when you like toss me around, like I really like that's sexy to me versus like, well, I'm not going to make the first move because I think that that's your job as a guy. That's not necessarily like something that is a turn on for you. It's just kind of like a society habit sort of a thing. And then at the same time for him, what is a turn on? And there, I think between if you can break down that conversation, like maybe he's super into like dirty talk where you're kind of like taking control more that way. And maybe for you, you're like, okay, yeah, I can do that. I'd prefer if like physically you were taking a little bit more control here in that way.
So you're not saying like, it's not really about like who actually initiates it. It's about like fulfilling what that person like really wants.
Because I think like
that's really
it's about what turns you on. I think like if the reason why you don't want to initiate it is because you just think that he should, that's not a turn on for you. And if he's really turned on by you initiating it, I think like then try initiating a couple times. And I think like when you see his response and you guys get that feedback, you're going to be more into things. Yeah. It's like, I didn't come out of the womb being like, I love giving blowjobs, but I'm great at them. And I love giving them most of the time. Mats doesn't listen to this because he'd be like, hey, you listen to the podcast. Yeah. Can I have one right now? And suck my dick. But like, it's because of like the response and the feedback that you get from the other person. And so I think like you guys need to break it down to what you're super attracted to and what is those turn-ons. And then even if there are certain things that like, okay, if you're both turned on by the same thing and like you kind of want the other person to do it, I think you're going to find that if you do kind of switch off taking turns, you're also going to be turned on by their response to doing that. And I think that's going to be like stimulating in itself. But I mean, someone's got to start initiating it. Otherwise, like all of that's null because you're not going to have sex.
Yeah, and I do think it's important to note, like you're saying, like it is difficult, generally speaking, when you're in a long term relationship. So you're not alone there. Mm-hmm. I think it's like very easy to be like, oh, something's wrong with us. But if you speak to any of your friends that are in these relationships, for the most part, it's definitely becomes less active than it was at the beginning.
Oh my God. My friends, when they just start dating people, I get so self-conscious about our sex life because I'm like, oh my God, you guys are fucking like 6 times a day. And I'm like, babe, we have to fuck more. And he was like, no, I'll use some smudge mascara.
Mom, thanks for telling me. He's a good friend.
I didn't want to fuck you up.
Thank you.
But yeah, it just changes. And I think like, especially if like the beginning of your relationship, it wasn't like that, it doesn't mean that something's broken or something's wrong.
No, that's just life. But maybe your friends are right that like if it really comes down to who initiates, like that's the thing, then you do just have to switch off. Yeah. You just have to do it. And you do it because you love your partner, like you were saying. And like if they like that, that's why you give those blowjobs.
Exactly. And otherwise, like, if you, like, die on that, like, whatever, that, what is it called? You die on grave, podium, whatever, something.
What the fuck are you talking about?
But, like, when you're, like, going to battle for something and you're like, like, will not move. Like,
on this hill.
Yeah. If you die on this hill, then you're not having sex. Like,
yeah.
That's
like you're both crossing your arms and like, you do it.
Yeah,
no,
then it's like, then fine. We're never going to have sex.
Yeah. But I do actually think scheduling, like sometimes like, especially if you and your partner like work a lot or like, you kind of like, you got to schedule, man.
No, there are certain times where like Mott's will be so tired and I'm like, can we have sex? He's like, can we have sex tomorrow? And I was like, pinky promise. He's like, for sure. And like, it'll be something like that. And I think also like, if you can have it like, even if it could be like scheduling in a sexy way, like send him a sext while he's at work and be like, I want you so bad. Like, I can't wait to like fuck you tonight or something like that. Then that's exciting. It isn't like a going from watching a movie to
you're
be like
initiating that way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think that's a good call because and then by the time that he gets home or you get home or whatever, you're already in that mindset. You're thinking about it and it's not like, oh, how do I change this like conversation of climate change and us watching the news to like getting down and dirty.
Yeah.
Like
it's already on the forefront.
Yeah.
And you know what? Guys do initiate a lot, but they also want to know that, especially when they're in a a long-term relationship, they want a reminder that they're sexy too. So like you do gotta like, you do have to initiate.
And I would rather not initiate, but there are certain times where I will subtly initiate with Mons. He was like, no, I'm gonna need you to like fully come on here. And I was like, God damn it. And like, because it's like, he's like, no, it's like, this is something that I also want you to do. Like, and it's something where it's like, okay, fuck, fine, I'll do it. And it might not necessarily be like the most comfortable state for you, but it's, again, I don't think it needs to be like each and every time you switch off. But I think also once you get into the habit of having sex more, it's going to be a lot easier to just like,
because now you're overthinking it and now it's like becoming a chore and then it becomes like,
you're both in your fucking heads and it's just, yeah. Or maybe even like you wear something like sexy under your clothes and like, it's like having it be without being like just like sticking your hand down his pants, like having like these these things that kind of lead that build up to like quote unquote naturally happen, which it's still kind of scheduling. Like you're like planting the seed of being like, oh no, I'm scheduling that we're gonna have sex. I'm just letting you know into the plans. Look what I'm wearing. Blah blah blah.
Totally.
Like, it kind of makes it a little more.
Look at me.
Yeah, I'm super sexy. Do you want to bond? And you can also make a funny joke out of it too. You just be like, hey, you want to like text him while you're sitting next to him? Like, would you like to have sex right now? Like,
that's initiate. I am initiating.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good call. But you guys, you'll be fine. It'll be great. It's just gonna be a learning curve, and it's a fun learning curve. Like you just get to fuck and be like, let's figure this out. It's a good one. It's a good time.
Or bring in that third.
Yeah, if all else fails. Put me in, coach. Okay.
But who's going to initiate that?
The coach.
No, like bringing the
third.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
Fucking shit.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a struggle. Okay, guys, now it's time for Don't Blame Them. And this is where you guys, listeners, call in with your own advice from previous episodes.
This is actually from the last episode where Lisa was on.
Oh my God.
And you talked about it earlier in the episode from it's advice about someone that was being harassed at work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Megan. I was listening to episode 74 of your podcast and the one before the commercial about the girl who was getting harassed at work by an older coworker and she was underage. I had the same thing happen to me when I was 16, 17. It happened for about a year and a half. And at first, I kept quiet about it and I kept telling myself it would just go away if I told them to stop, and it didn't. And I didn't know what to do, so eventually I confided in my one of my supervisors that I was really good friends with. She was way older than me, but she cared about me, and I knew that she'd be the right person to tell. So I told her when we both had a day off, and she said, let's do something about it. So we first went to the assistant manager, and the same kind of deal with the girl. My boss, my assistant manager, didn't really care. She said she would do something about it, and she just kind of talked about it, but nothing really happened. And I knew in that moment that I needed to go farther. And so because the person I confided in was my supervisor. She had contacts with the owner. And so I told her I felt like my assistant manager didn't take me seriously. And so I decided to go to the owner, and we had a conversation with the owner, and my supervisor sat with me through the whole conversation as well, because I didn't want to do it alone. But it's the kind of thing you don't want to do with your parents, because it's awkward. And so I decided to do it with an adult I trusted, who also knew the situation firsthand. And it was easier that way. And so I sat down with my owner, and he made me go into very big detail about what happened. But I knew he was taking me seriously, and I knew that he wasn't just going to brush it off the way my assistant manager would, because when it's an owner situation, they know that they can get in huge trouble. Assistant managers, and bosses, they can act and do whatever they think is right, but an owner will really take action. So I went to the owner, and it worked at first, and then the managers kept just kind of letting it slide and letting us work together and whatever. And so I would just keep going to the owner, and the owner finally said, this is enough, we can't let this happen. And yeah, so I hope that might help her a little bit, because I know how incredibly hard it is to talk about and how difficult it is to be in that situation, especially when it's your job, because most people need jobs. But if it never gets dealt with properly, I would quit and get a new job, because it's not something that you should have to go through every day. Thank you very much. Bye.
Hell yeah, you did it.
Yeah, and you did that so well.
Yeah.
And I think in theory we always don't feel uncomfortable telling people, but it totally makes sense to feel uncomfortable with your parents, and the fact that you have another adult that you trusted to do that with you.
Yeah, and you persisted. You just kept going, and you had good instincts about what the person listening, if they were taking you seriously or not. And I'm so sorry that you had to go through that, but you sound pretty badass, and I'm proud of you.
Hell yeah. There is a incredibly amazing thing to be a young person who can register that their superior is not doing something else, and then being I'm gonna go above you. And it's that's an amazing power move that everyone should do, but having that confidence to do that, and especially when it comes to something that feels really gross and terrible, they think that's amazing. And kudos to the owner of where you work for being great about that. But this also just makes me be I need to own all of the businesses. If someone came to me because someone's sexually harassing me, and she's yeah, he made me go into detail, I was I don't even know. I think I would get in trouble legally for not hearing the other side. I would just be if someone's this person was kind of they were mean to you, get out. And they're I'm well, let me say what I said. I'm no, I heard you were mean, you fucking out. Yeah. I would get in trouble on the opposite end.
Yeah, I wonder if the guy got fired. We didn't really hear that, but I'm assuming so.
Yeah.
Ray doesn't even matter. The fact that she stood up for herself.
Yeah.
Took control and found a partner in crime here to help her out.
Yeah. And also it's I am so also impressed that I think there's something so fucking dangerous about women who I say I think there's something really dangerous about misogynistic women. That is the scariest breed of human to me.
I agree.
Women who are literally anti-rights for women. It's crazy. And the fact that you went to your assistant manager who was a woman who was that, then at that point, I usually find confidence in other, where it's let me find out, when I get shut down by a girl, if I'm I have to I want to ask a girl to do something, it hurts so much more than a guy, because I'm fuck, we're on the same team.
Yeah, totally.
And so then your ability to then move on above her, I think is also fantastic and great, because it's so scary when other women just don't take those claims seriously.
She was probably so afraid of losing her job or something, which doesn't make it right.
Yeah. And also some people just have no personal experience with it, and they need that to believe something's true. It's the same thing with Woody Allen shit. The amount of actors who come forward is well, I've never had personal experience. I'm what?
Or I'll still work with him.
But it's the same thing of being well, I've never had personal experience with racism, but I still know that is a thing and it's not good.
Right.
The idea that you're gonna be, or prostate cancer. I don't have a prostate, but I'm sure that cancer sucks. I have it's just such an odd thing that like you need to have.
You heard it here. Meghan doesn't have a prostate.
I don't have a prostate. But like, you know.
Breaking news.
I know you're all floored. You are so surprised.
It's going to like show up on like tube filter. Yeah.
Shocking.
No, but you're right.
But yeah. So kudos. Great on you. And yeah, fantastic. I'm really, really happy for you and standing up for yourself. And now nothing else is probably ever going to happen at that job too, because like your owner has now been informed and is able to be, shorter leash, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, that's it. Lisa, thank you for being on again.
Oh my, what an honor. I feel like this was therapeutic through and through.
Truly how I feel all the time. Yeah. I keep saying like, we'll just have you back. I'm like, well, we just do keep having you back. So like it's not goodbye. We'll see you again soon. But
great.
Please promo your shit and tell people where they can get your book. I'm assuming Amazon too.
Yeah. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anywhere books are sold.
Hell yeah. And where can people follow you on the internet?
Oh, Lisa Schwartz on Instagram. That'll do. If you guys want to be on an upcoming episode, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can send us an audio file at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram. We're in the show notes, wherever if you just like go to the down part, wherever place you're listening. There's a thing. Go to the down
part.
People ask like, where are the show notes that we always talk about? And it's like, it's just down.
Yeah, it's just down. Everything's down.
Yeah. Look down.
And then Don't Blame Meme Pod is us, our Instagram. And
oh, I love your Instagram account, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We're doing it. I mean, I'm doing the less cute stuff.
I really like it. Good job. You should follow them. Look down.
Yeah.
Look down.
Look down. Cool. And we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Whatever struggles you're facing, from depression and anxiety to trauma and grief, Betterhelp can connect you with professional counselors in a safe and private online environment. It's so convenient. You can schedule secure video or phone sessions, as well as chat and text with your therapist, and anything you share is completely confidential. Best of all, it is a truly affordable option. Our listeners even get 10% off your first month with the discount code BLAME. So why not get started? Simply go to betterhelp.com/blame and fill out a questionnaire to get matched with a counselor you'll love today. Don't Blame Me is a production by me, executive produced by Melissa DeMonts, camera operator Amanda Lechner, and music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso, part of the HerPod Network.